on your breath, a hydrogen goes through your head. Still the kid that doesn't like.
Hey there YouTube, it's Kurt here, and today I'm going to talk about MIDI drums and uses in recording. Now if you're a rock band, we're actually seeing a lot more usage of actually electronic drums in recorded albums. And really what I want to talk about is whether or not it's a good idea. And well, first off, overall I want to say, generally speaking, it can be. It can be a very good idea. What we're having now, we're having kind of a boom of artists that are all writing their own material, and sometimes it's hard to really get a lot of people together to record one thing in our climate, because there's a lot of ideas, but not always that much cooperation among people. So that's where MIDIs come in, and they're actually really starting to help out a lot of people. So I believe people like Michelangelo Lobadio, I think he records a lot of his albums using MIDI drums. And the truth is, a lot of them are becoming a lot more sophisticated nowadays. You can find some... I use Easy Drummer too. That's what I used on our last recording. And what you'll notice is if you go back and listen to albums, some of your favorite albums from the 80s or 90s, you'll find that if you listen to the drum sections, the drums, of course, they sound good because of who's playing them, but in terms of recording techniques and actual drum kits, they weren't as evolved at the time. So if you go compare user MIDI nowadays that's used for a metronome and compare it to those drum sets that were recorded in the 80s, a lot of times these MIDIs will sound a lot better. They'll sound actually more authentic because it's like we're taking these MIDIs and these machines are actually using re-recorded drum sounds. And so, well, when you combine that with the fact that a lot of bands nowadays, a lot of commercial bands, are taking their drummers, taking the sound and putting that sound on a grid, meaning that it's changing and shifting the sound to fit perfectly with the metronome, what you end up with is something that sounds, a real drummer sounds like a machine anyway sometimes. So really what it comes down to is when you're using your MIDI, it's all coming down to your composition. How are you composing your drum parts and your drum fills? And that's what's going to make the difference over whether it sounds genuine or whether it sounds done by a machine. So it's all about how you're writing your fills and how you orchestrate those. So me personally, with Easy Drummer, it can be a very painstaking process. It can take very long. But once you can slow down the metronome and fill in the parts you want. And that's the really cool part about it. And I'm not trying to make an advertisement for any one program, I'm just talking about the subject in general. So with rock albums, as long as you know what you're doing, if you're going to use MIDI drums, make sure you do it right. And even if you use them, maybe get some advice from drummers as to where you can fill in some sound and where it sounds rational to put either like a hi-hat or a ride in, etc., etc. That would be probably the best point of advice to take. But overall, MIDIs can be very, very good. So if you know how to use them, then yes, use MIDI drums in your recording, and they sound very good. But the best case scenario is having a drummer that you work with, but if you don't have that, then a MIDI is a good alternative. That's my opinion, so if you guys like this, you can check out some MIDI drums on our band. My band's American Time Machine. You can check out, yeah, a lot of our tracks. And I don't think, I've had a lot of people tell me they can't tell a difference, or they think it's a live recording of drums, which is really, really cool. So feel free to check that out. We're American Time Machine. That album's Illusion of Youth. But I appreciate it, guys. So if you like this video, subscribe, and yeah, just everything else. So thanks, guys.
A cigarette is on your breath.